Are you asking yourself why you don't have a high-performance sales team and you're looking at your frontline salespeople? Maybe the problem is not your frontline salespeople, maybe the issue lies with your leadership team. Hi, I'm Suki Sodhi, founder of Professional Selection, a global rec-to-rec and training business. This channel's for staffing professionals from around the world who are interested and want to create high-performance sales cultures. If that's the kind of content that's of interest to you, click subscribe and you'll get notified every time I upload a new video. So why do I say high-performance sales cultures, high-performance sales teams? You should start looking at the leader first. Here's the thing. Any business, any team, it is the captain, it is the leader that is setting the pace. Now, leaders, CEOs, VPs, they bring tremendous value to any business. Not denying that whatsoever. But here's the thing, the other part of their critical and arguably the most critical role is to demonstrate the behaviors that they want to see in others. And that is where I see a gap. So before I talk about some of the strategies that my clients have used, I just want to explore, why is that? Why are leaders not demonstrating the behaviors themselves? In other words, why are they talking the talk and not walking the walk? Why are they not leading by example? Why is it that it is do as I say and not as I do? So let's quickly explore that. Well, in no particular order, some of the things I see from having worked around the world, leaders have, in our industry, we have leaders that join the business from outside of staffing. So for example, if you're specializing in aerospace, the leader may come from the aerospace industry, which is amazing. They bring different ideas and value to the business. But the piece they're missing is an appreciation for what actually happens in the business, what actually happens on a day-to-day basis in the branches. They don't know what they don't know. They've not ran a high volume VMS business. They've not ran a retained search business. They've not gone out and done pure BD within staffing. So again, as I said, they don't know what they don't know. But the other part of it, something I see a lot of, is egos. These massive egos get in the way. This sense of, I'm the CEO, I'm the VP of sales, and that, going and doing sales is beneath them. Yet they're all happy to manage executive relationships because that means spending the day playing golf. That means being invited to, taking clients, entertaining hockey games and things like that. Now, to be clear, I'm not dismissing how hard a leader works. They work extremely hard. But what I'm saying is those egos get in the way, and it creates that hierarchy. And it creates yet another barrier. But also, hidden amongst that ego piece, in some cases, not all, but in some cases, is fear of failure, imposter syndrome, fear of going in to an office, a fear of picking up the phone, making the call themselves and being rejected. And then that being public. Because remember, leader's job is to actually demonstrate the behavior. And the only way you demonstrate that behavior is by picking up the phone and making a sales call in the example that I'm using. So that's just some of the things. So I would highly encourage you to just be a fly on the wall and just observe. And if the individual I'm referring to is you yourself, again, just try and just observe your own actions, your own thoughts. I know it's really hard, but if you want, happy to jump on a call and I'll share my details later. But regardless, that's where I would start on that one. Now, what are some of the strategies my clients have used around the world to create the right behaviors? As I said, it starts with them demonstrating them. I talk to a lot of companies and a lot of amazing CEOs, country managers, and they will go into a branch. Every couple of months they'll go into a local branch. But here's the thing, they'll go into a local branch and they'll sit in the side office. There's still that barrier. And now, to be clear, they're confidential calls and things like that, absolutely, in a private office. But just all they've done is they've literally taken themselves out of one box, put it in another box. There's still that barrier. There's still not that dialogue. And they're sitting in an office. How are they going to see and appreciate what's happening out there? So I always encourage my clients to spend time in the bullpen. And I promise you that is a game changer. I have one particular client, runs 5 countries. He's responsible for 5 countries. Every time, and he travels all the time. Before COVID, I hasten to add, but he'd be spending time, and he would spend time in each office, and he would spend time out there in the bullpen. Now, if that's something you haven't done, or actually I encourage you to look at it and say, when was the last time I done that? If it's not something you're doing, if you're not going into branches, that's the place to start. Get into the branches. When you're in the branches, get out there, sit in the bullpen with the others. Initially, you'll find that people are a little shocked because they're not used to seeing you, but it's all about, and that's where your sales skills, your personality comes through. But not only that, in the example that I'm giving you with one of my clients, he actually picks up the phone and fills orders. Depends on which branch he's going into. If it's a heavy temp branch, contracting branch, he'll pick up the phone and he'll help. I have another client who actually books time with his salespeople. So again, whichever region he's going into, and he never says, take me into your top clients and things like that. Never does that, unless there's an issue, of course. But what he does is he spends a day shadowing the salesperson. And yes, he spends a day. He ensures that that day is dedicated to the salespeople. And what that does is he goes into these client meetings and he takes a back seat. The ego stays at the door. He takes a back seat. He supports, he interjects, but it is a salesperson that is running that meeting. And the beauty of that is, and he tells me when they get into the car, they have this amazing conversation around strategy. And he himself gets a better appreciation for the changes he needs to make up above in order to ensure that his salespeople are able to work effectively and efficiently. And of course, it allows him to meet the clients. It allows him to meet the clients as well. So that's just some of the benefits from a sales perspective. But here's the other part. Because you're sitting out in the bullpen, it allows active listening. And sometimes you don't know what you don't know. Your salespeople or your recruiters, your branch manager, whoever it might be, they're having these conversations and you are learning so much about the business. And it's amazing because that's the voice. You hear me talking about the missing voice at the boardroom table. That's the voice I'm talking about. You're taking all of that, you take it back. So coming back to my client's examples, I have a lady, she runs the whole of the Americas, so extremely busy. But what she does is she does an amazing job of translating that voice into the boardroom. And that is a game changer. Because now when they are strategizing, when she's talking with her line managers and so forth, she's actually able to tell them why the strategy will or will not work. But not only that, going into different branches, she gets a real appreciation for, okay, what will work for branches that fall into this category is not necessarily going to work for this category. So she's really able to bring that voice to the table. Last but not least, what both of these individuals that I'm using the example have done, they've built this tremendous trust with their people. Now, it's not saying yes for the sake of saying yes. So the ego's at the door, but they've built this trust. So when they are able to go back and are able, like everybody, all of us, when we feel we have been heard, it's a relief. It's a sense of being part of the team, and you want to go that extra mile, so to speak. And I said just then, last but not least, but I'm going to give you one more advantage, that benefit that my clients are seeing by using this strategy. It gives them a chance to look at the frontline people in action. And what that allows them to do is, and I just categorize it, stereotype it for a second, your A players, your B players, your C players. They're able to look at the C players and not necessarily get rid of them. Some cases that's what needs to happen, but sometimes it's just a training need, or an individual is in the wrong role. So they're able to help. It's like a game of chess. They're able to move that individual into the right position. And then you have the opportunity to look at your A players and your B players and bring the training, the coaching. So we all know sometimes a little bit of tweaking can take a B player to an A player. And that's what they're able to do. They get this real appreciation, this real sense of what is missing. And of course, A players, it allows them to really look at who are our A players, who are going to be massive game changers for the business. So that allows succession planning as well. So something as simple as spending time in the office, in the field, in the bullpen, filling an order, shadowing a salesperson across multiple locations has so many benefits. And arguably, for me, certainly from my perspective, the biggest game changer is you've brought the voice of your frontline salespeople to the boardroom. Your frontline salespeople now know that they have been heard. Anyhow, if that's the kind of content that really interests you and you have some thoughts, please leave comments below, or alternatively, there's my email address. Feel free to drop me a quick email. Happy to jump on a call with you if that's something that would be of interest to you. If this is the kind of content that you're enjoying, remember to click subscribe and you'll get notified every time I upload new content. On that note, thank you ever so much for listening, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.